Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my vlog. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Man, crazy week that has been. Summerslam was amazing. Half amazing, half not amazing. It was a 4-hour show. I really paid attention more to the main event matches, the title matches. Although most of the matches there were a lot of title matches, and for the most part, all those titles changed. It was only the WWE title and the Universal title that didn't switch hands. I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah, because the Usos got their title back, which I'm happy about. Neville got his title back, which is very pointless, but maybe Tozawa might win it. I didn't watch 205 Live, so I don't even know if he got it back. I should really check up on that. But I mean, whatever. The Raw tag team titles finally switched hands, which was a good change because Seth and Dean looked awesome in that match, and it was a really fun match to watch. Naomi lost to Natalia, which is cool. I guess Natalia was finally due some sort of reward for all these years of always sticking at it and being there as the veteran. So it's the first title win in how many years? Probably 6-7 years. Alexa Bliss lost to Sasha Banks, which is what I pretty much predicted. I knew Sasha would get it back, but I think she might go heel against Bayley, or something's gonna happen. Imagine Bayley went heel though; that would be cool. Just because crowd's kind of over her gimmick now. It worked more on NXT, I think, but with the main roster type of crowds, especially for Raw's crowd, you don't go over until you've been a heel, really. The IC title wasn't defended. AJ didn't lose his title, but it set up a possible match further down the road with KO and Shane. Just with KO, and AJ, both of them kind of bumping into Shane, and Shane kind of getting their face, and kind of backfired more on KO, and KO lost. But that was crazy. The rest of the matches were okay. Baron Corbin got buried by Cena. Randy buried Rusev. Well, WWE buried them. I mean, those guys are just the ones executing the job. But it's strange that it has to be both. The long time veteran guys burying these guys that should be so much higher up in the card. Well, more so Rusev. Baron still got some proving, but him losing the Money in the Bank the way he did, it just made him look so. It's kind of embarrassing to watch, but. I digress. I think SummerSlam was all right. The main event was amazing. The Brock retaining his title in the way he did, and really getting destroyed by Braun Strowman, who was really the breakout star of the whole night, really, especially for that particular match. Joe kind of just would pop up now and then, try to choke guys out. Roman was actually doing a lot of the heavy work until he took the F5 and actually took the pin. So he. And the crowd was happy with that. So, people hate Roman. I get it. And Jinder's match with Shinsuke was a real disappointment. I mean, it's just like every Jinder match so far. And I was really trying to get behind Jinder being an Indian or half Indian myself. I was just like, hopefully he can pull it off. And I don't think it's really Jinder's fault. I mean, it's the way they've been booking him, and he's booked for a strategic business reason. But, there's only so much this kind of booking can go, and it's going to catch up with them, and I'm guessing further down the line it's just going to set up Shinsuke and AJ, but these are just things along the way that they're going to deal with. But this week's Raws and SmackDowns, the dumb thing is I haven't finished watching the main event. I got interrupted at work, so I'll watch that. But it was Raw and SmackDown really good shows, man. Bobby Roode's now on SmackDown, Shelton's back and now on SmackDown. Raw was actually a really solid show. Miz looked, his promos are always the best. He's just so reality based, but he knows he's a company man at heart, and Miz is the hardest working guy in WWE in my opinion. He always finds a way to always be a champ, always stay relevant, and he's been on a roll the past 3 years. He's never stopped the momentum for himself, and that's a lot of hard work. And Maurice and his Miz Taraj, those guys, nice little elements. And it looks like Cena and Roman are going to be feuding, but they're kind of doing like a Rock Cena thing where they've got to team up against the Miz and whoever partners it for now. But it's shaping up to be a very interesting couple months now on the road to the next WrestleMania. I mean, well, we'll see how things get by the time Survivor Series comes around, because then once it hits then it's going to be like, yeah, then we'll kind of have more of an idea. But yeah, I don't see how Roman's going to fight Brock next year at WrestleMania's main event, which is what they keep predicting. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, for the most part, WWE's been pretty cool. So enough about that. Found out the very disappointing news about Jon Jones. You can't make any excuses for this guy, first it was the dick pills. I mean, before that, it was it was this cocaine issue. It was the crashing into the car of the pregnant woman. We've all, as fans, tried to find ways to justify him and have faith in him that he'll change and become a better person. But, I mean, we'll see. But if, it's not looking good for him so far. They're saying it's possible steroid use and possible 4-year suspension, this is his peak. He's 30 now. The next 4 years is his athletic prime. And it's just such a waste. I hope they clear it up. Hopefully, it might be just some misunderstanding or some tainted supplement that maybe it's like another year off. But come on, man, you can't keep doing this shit. And poor DC got his head knocked. He got knocked out, but at least he gets his title back. So from what I've seen, Dana White said that DC gets his title back. And rightly so. DC, a lot of people give him hate for no reason. It's like, at the end of the day, just because you can't relate to someone because they're an upstanding citizen, that's on you. At the end of the day, I watch gimmick stuff with WWE, personalities and all that. That's wrestling. For me, when I watch MMA, I'm just looking for the best fighter. That's my favorite. That's why I loved Anderson Silva so much, because he wasn't that charismatic. He was funny, and he used to do his little dances and his capoeira and all that. But, for the most part, it was about martial arts, being the best mixed martial artist. And, in this new era with Conor McGregor and everything, it kind of changed, and it was fine because Conor's different. Conor can fight, Conor, say what you will, but, and I'll come to the Floyd Mayweather Conor fight soon, but you got to back it up, and John was one of those guys who could back it up, but every time he backs it up, something happens, and it's just so disappointing as a fan, because I was just saying he's the greatest of all time, he did it, he proved it, and now can we say that? If you're on the juice and you knock out DC, it doesn't really count. That's just how I feel. I'm just disappointed in him, man. I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. That kind of way of feeling. But anyway, so Jon Jones he's been stripped of the title. It's going back to DC, and the worst part was there was supposed to be a fight lined up between him and Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title. So Dana was giving him the opportunity to replicate what Conor has done and be a dual champion, at least for a short moment. And, he fucks up. So, he has no one else to blame but himself. But we'll see what comes out. In a week we might find out that it was a bad test or something, or we don't know. But, I mean, the thing is, it's after the fight now. So, we'll never, we just have to go. Like, it just depends what the reason was as to why there was, like, some sort of steroid type substance in his system. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. But yeah, I'm a bit gutted, to be honest. And moving on to the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight, the fight that a lot of people thought would never happen, and Conor made it happen. Floyd definitely made it happen. I mean, it probably more Floyd, but Conor achieving what he did and getting the notoriety he did, and calling out Floyd, and they kind of called each other out. Really, I've almost forgotten who called out who first. But Conor's based his career off replicating somewhat of what Floyd Mayweather's gimmick is. Of Money Mayweather. That's a character he's made. But what I like about Floyd is the way he fight. I mean, with Conor, how he fights is he's more about the knockouts and that. But this is MMA. In terms of boxing, we really don't know what's going to happen. I feel that Conor's going to get a lucky shot and knock him out. I just have this weird feeling Conor's going to do it. But, the other side of it and the more logical argument is that, Floyd is, he's a mastermind in defensive boxing. Apparently, he looks in his best athletic prime, like shape. I mean, he's 40 though, 41 actually. So how much of an edge can he really have over a guy who's like just in his late 20s? You know, Connor's young, he's fresh, he's on top of the world, and he's been beating up dudes, you know, for the past couple of years now, and Floyd's been retired for about 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see, is there going to be some ring rust? Is there going to be an opportunity for Conor to knock him out? Is Floyd going to, you know, do his usual defensive style, or is he going to mix it up? Is it going to get to a point where maybe Conor kind of lures him in and makes it seem like he is losing, and then he just whacks him or something? Like, we don't know, because Conor does have knockout power, but he's going against the godfather of defensive boxing, and, you know, the modern day era greatest boxer, you know, alive right now. And so it's just going to be interesting. I'm really excited to watch it. I think everyone is, and I know there's a lot of purists out there, but they're all going to watch it. This is the biggest fight in modern history. I mean, there's been some great boxing matches over the decades, but nothing's really matched up to a lot of Muhammad Ali's days. I mean, Tyson had his run, and you can argue that Tyson didn't have the right competition, and when he was up against real competition like Evander Holyfield or Lennox Lewis, or, you know, and even Buster Douglas, you know, like, he did choke, you know, he did lose. So there've been moments of greatness in boxing, and I mean, you've got the Canelo Alvarez's and these young guys, Triple G, and that's going to be for the purists. They've got that fight, but it's a different date. So, you know, there's no point hating on this fight. Let's watch it for what it is. I mean, if you can't afford it, just go and watch it at a pub or something. Like, figure out something with your mates, because, you know, like, I'm going to watch with family, and I can't wait. I'm really excited. So, yeah, let's see how this thing rolls out. And I have a feeling Connor's going to shock the world. I've doubted him at times, man, and I've got a little bit of Irish blood in me, so I'm kind of hoping he does win. And I'm a Floyd fan. You know, I've always been a Floyd fan. Even when people hate his fights and don't find him entertaining, I've always been entertained by the fact that he wins every freaking fight. He's undefeated, but he's tied for most undefeated. He isn't the record breaker. So if he wins, he can go down as, you know, the most number of, most wins, undefeated record, you know, and most money made, I guess, because, you know, he definitely made the most money in boxing. You know, he's a very smart businessman, and this was part of his business strategy, again, is to, you know, go out with a bang and make shitloads of money. And that's the thing. Conor loses, he's still going to make like, what, $100 million or something. But the thing about it is, if Conor, a lot of people say, you know, if Conor lasts the 12 rounds, it's a win for MMA. If Conor gets knocked out, then it's a loss for MMA. But with Floyd, I feel like it just would suck in a way to see him lose his record, you know, well, have a 1 next to that 49, you know, like, he worked so hard to get to this point, but who knows, man? I mean, at the end of the day, he's all about the dollars, you know, he made his money, and his family's set for lifetimes now, you know, for generations to come. So you can't diss a man for doing that, you know, like, he has a style, maybe people don't find it appealing, but let's see how he goes against a raging bull, which is Conor McGregor. So, yeah, looking forward to it. So, Game of Thrones, awesome episode. Watched it leak like everyone else, but, I mean, come on, every man and his dog was doing the same thing. But the worst thing is, though, I've read the leaked spoilers for the following episode, the finale, and this is a very fan service season, and I like it. I've seen a lot of the negative comments against it too, like, it's so convenient, it's all, you know, there's no pacing, everyone just gets to one point to another so quickly. It's like, yeah, but they're limited episodes. The scale of this whole season is just so large, they had to cut these sort of corners and stuff. I'm enjoying it. To be honest, like, the other day, someone I know was watching the Red Wedding, and I saw it, and I was like, dude, we endured a lot of heartache in those first couple of seasons, so I think we can do with one season where the good guys are actually winning. I just think there's too much of this pain, like, this kind of, I don't know what it is, where the people just like bad stuff more or something, but because that's more realistic. It's like it's not really. Sometimes the good guys do actually win. So I like this season, but it's gonna get creepy. You know, we can tell that Jon and Daenerys are gonna hook up at some point, and all just for Bran and them to reveal that, you know, they're nephew and aunties. That's gonna be so weird. But you know, the White Walkers now have obtained their own dragon. Whereas the good guys managed to grab one of the whites, not the White Walkers, but a white, a white. I don't know. It sounds racist saying that. But anyway, one of the zombies. Anyway, so they're gonna present that to Cersei in the next episode. It's interesting, man. The last season's really gonna be the true war, but who will really stand as the, you know, the true king or queen of the throne at the end of it is going to be interesting. Cersei can't hold it forever. I mean, I don't even know what really. I mean, we know what's stopping Daenerys, but Cersei's so dangerous because she's willing to kill whoever she has to kill. She'll kill citizens. She'll blast the whole city into with dragonfire if she has to, like Aegon Targaryen was threatening to do. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy, man. But yeah, it's. I think the next episode there's going to be some. Sorry, spoiler alert, but there's going to be even some flashbacks to show some scenes of Rhaegar, and I've been reading and watching a lot of stuff about Rhaegar Targaryen, and he seemed like such a cool guy, like very much like Jon, but I guess he's Jon if he grew up as a prince with, you know, that lineage of the Targaryen, you know, history behind him, as well as you know, he could sing, he was charming, he was a warrior, but at the same time he didn't actually enjoy fighting. He enjoyed being more of a, you know, a people person and just being a nice guy. But it was his love for Lyanna that really cost his life and a lot of people's lives in the process. Actually, his whole family really. But his dad was going nuts anyway. So, yeah, I've been just delving into the background stories, and I can't wait for when they finally do the prequel. By the looks of it, they're saying that the last season's coming out in 2019, which is, I don't think that's gonna happen. There's rumors that's just kind of to swerve fans, but they want to surprise them because I think they're already starting with the shooting for the next season already, and it takes about 6 months for them to finish a season. So I reckon by the end of next year we'll have the final season, and the following year probably the prequel. I mean, these guys are doing so much for their fans, man, and it definitely is appreciated. So I can't wait to see all of it. But yeah, Game of Thrones is the shit, man. Dany coming down with her dragons and the Night King, you know, using javelin skills to take out one of the dragons. It'll be interesting to see if Jon rides the other dragon. I thought Tyrion was going to ride one of them, but looks like that theory's been thrown out the window. And maybe it's because they're having to rush through a lot of things, so they're now having to get rid of some of the things that were probably rumored to happen or whatever. Because I mean, the books aren't done, so at the end of the day, they've got to go a certain direction. And I think George R.R. Martin's kind of just given them more of a roadmap as to where he wants them to go, so they've got to fill in the gaps. So yeah, that's Game of Thrones. Dragonball Super was pretty cool. What actually happened? Oh yeah, Goku went Super Saiyan God, and they kind of finally tied the manga, in the sense that they explained that, you know, they can use Super Saiyan God. Well, they haven't shown that Vegeta can. Vegeta wasn't even in this episode. It was Goku and Hit, mostly Hit for the first half of it, getting his ass kicked by Dispo, but then he finally figured out how to beat his timing and stuff, and then one of the other, what's it called? What do they even call themselves? Well, Universe 11 guys, Pride Troopers came down, and he had this ability to use his ki to, you know, like make mines, and he can use ki to stretch out and grab people and stuff. So Goku jumped in and helped him out, and they kicked their asses, and Goku switched between blue and red, which was really cool to see. Because the red form is a lot, like, it's actually a really cool form to look at. It's just, we haven't seen it a lot, so it was nice to see it there. And they briefly explained that, you know, it uses less energy, and it's better than regular Super Saiyan without using as much energy as Super Saiyan Blue. But if you go into short spurts of blue, you can use the extra power gained from blue. So it's cool. I mean, at least they're adding it in now. But yeah, that episode was okay. I just really want to get down to the nitty gritty and finally see this true form of Goku, you know, this limit breaker form. because I kind of thought that at the end of Dragon Ball Z, the very very last episode, which Super's not hasn't caught up to yet because that's a time skip. Goku never went Super Saiyan against Oob, and you could argue maybe he didn't have to, but at the same time, maybe they'll reboot that episode to make it that they no longer need to go Super Saiyan because their base form is perfected, like kind of like Mr. Gohan. So maybe the Limit Breaker form is just a thing that if he's going to transform, he'll just go into Limit Breaker, which is just showing a bit of a tinge of ki and his eye color changes. But those pictures that leaked, we don't know. So there was pictures that leaked, if you didn't know, of Goku as his Limit Breaker form, and it's really just him with black hair kind of spiking up a bit more. His pupils have gone grayish, kind of like Goku Black, and he's buff. He's a lot bigger, so it's cool to see Goku get buff again because he was starting to get skinnier and skinnier with the different forms, you know, the Super Saiyan God form. So yeah, he looks a bit more buff, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, poor Vegeta probably won't achieve this form in this season. He'll probably get in the next one. So yeah, it's the Tournament of Power's alright. I still like Goku Black tournament, that Trunks, Future Trunks saga a lot more. I'll say that every bloody vlog. And yeah, that's about it, really. I think I've touched on everything. It's been a pretty wild week. Finished my first single with Vaughn, so we're moving on to the next one. Yeah, just gonna watch the boxing match this weekend, and yeah, just kick back and enjoy it, man. That's all I can say to everyone, you know, just don't judge it. We're gonna watch it, and go Conor McGregor. I mean, yeah, go Conor. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go for Conor in this fight, only because most logical people are going for Floyd, and I just every time I've doubted Conor, man, he proves me wrong every time. So yeah, do it for the Irish lad, you know, like a terrible Irish accent, but yeah, my grandpa's half Irish, so I can claim a bit of that. So yeah, yeah, let's do this. Let's watch this fight, and I'll talk to you guys next week. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. 'Cause I gotta know, so say something.